Welcome back, Bottle Killers. Welcome to Bottle Kill TV. And today we have a dram in a can.
We do.
A can that's also inside as a dram.
That is right.
A dram in a can. How did they think of these things?
It's crazy, right? Isn't it? I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it. I think, like, look at them. They look nice. They're like little stubby cans. I've been drinking some stubbies lately, so I'm keen to get into these.
So this was sent to us by one of your friends, Simon. So I kind of don't know really anything about this. It's kind of like this concept, or I'm kind of
Yeah. Well, you're going into it blind, really, aren't you?
Where did you put that can again? Okay, bad joke. So let's go in. So I guess 2 stacks Irish whiskey, and they've put a dram in a can. It's kind of like Peter Kay, like garlic bread, garlic and bread, dram in a can. Not in my lifetime.
It's a great concept, though, isn't it? Like, I think even just the effect of it, like rhyming, it makes it so much more marketable.
Yeah. I've got a smile on my face, and the novelty of that. Does the novelty wear off? I don't know, but for now, dram in a can, garlic bread,
Drams in cans,
cheesecake, cake of cheese,
like
a dram in a can.
Peep Show, Super Hands, when he gets his van and he's like, "Man in a van. If you help me out, we could be men in van."
Man in van, dram in a can.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's. So
I want to get the sound of like the.
So yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there's no fizz.
There's no. Tss. Interesting, yeah, because I was expecting like a. Tss.
There's no coke in it, you know.
Yeah, this is what's like confusing to the brain, isn't it?
It is,
because it's. I assumed it'd be like, you see those Jack Daniels and Coke in Tesco.
Yeah.
Oh no, I had one, but you see them.
Yeah. No, so this is actually a single. Going straight in, I like it. Straight from the can.
Wow, that's weird, because the only cans I've had that big have always been like, those little like cocktail Coke cans. And I've realized no, that's actually whiskey. Wow. So do we pour it out the can or drink it in the can? That's 100 milliliters. That's a lot of dram in that can.
It's something that plays
2 doubles.
It plays tricks on the mind, isn't it? Because like you're drinking out a can, and like you say, you're expecting like a lager or one of those like little cocktails that you say you get like in Tesco's or the supermarket. But like there's something that doesn't connect between sipping the can and it actually being whiskey inside.
Yeah, I think there's a certain pace that you drink out of a can as opposed to you drink out of a whiskey glass, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually an interesting proposition, because you're probably drinking this the same as you drink a Coke or a beer. And that could be dangerous. Dangerous. No, it does.
I know. This particular one. So what we've got today is the 2 stacks Polaris collection. This is a single malt. It's been matured initially in bourbon and then finished in a Cab Franc ice wine, and it's peated as well. So it's coming in at 58%. It's a cask strength single malt whiskey in a can.
Jesus Christ.
Mind blowing.
So they've done it 58%, 100 milliliters.
58%, 100 mil in a can.
And you're kind of really all in. If you're drinking this by yourself, you're kind of all in 100 milliliters. Like, you're having a serious session, aren't you?
Indeed.
At 58%. So cask strength, we've kind of been the cask strength kings recently. We've had Lefroy cask strength. We had Springbank cask strength.
Yeah.
And so you've gone glass. And so how much did you...
I've poured about half of it into the glass, I'd say.
I'm tempted to go the whole
maybe.
caboodle, but we got other reviews to do.
Well, that's the thing. You get the little...
Doesn't even feel like it's made too much of a dent in the can. And that's quite a big dram.
It's a healthy pour. So this is one of the things that I was thinking about this. Well, there's a couple of things, actually. This is, for me... This is what, like, this is probably the most excited I've been about an episode for a long time, because I think it's just such an interesting concept, and there's so much that you can talk about here. One of the things that I was sort of like most interested about was I like drinking train beers. Beers on a train.
Little train beer. I love a train beer.
Little train beers.
It's one of the best beers. Obviously, airport beers are like number one. Second.
Yeah, airport pints. Yeah.
At the early morning Wetherspoons Airport pint.
Unbeatable.
But the second is the train beers when you go in somewhere.
Train beers, you're going somewhere, like going up to Glasgow, Edinburgh, start of the whiskey tour, you got your little, your 4-pack, get them cracked open. So these are the kinds of things, like,
the anticipation of going somewhere. The train beers just taste a little bit sweeter, don't they?
Yeah, you could be drinking these on a train, right? Get yourself like a little couple of these to go with your train beers. Now you've got whiskey chasers. Drams in cans, beers in cans. You're like an ultimate can man.
Like what was Alan Partridge Ladyboy? What was that? Whiskey chaser.
Yeah, gin and tonic, lager and Baileys. Gin and tonic, lager and Baileys, wasn't it?
I'm gonna go in the kitchen and cook all the food. That was a good episode. Great show. So yeah, it's I'm just still blown away by the whole concept. What do you think the board meeting was in there? They go in. He's like, "Oh boys, Teeling's kicking our ass. Waterford's just gone out of business. Should we go age statement? Oh, it's not going to be ready for another 12 years, that mate. How about you got any ideas? Any ideas? No one's put a whiskey in a can before. We could call it dram in a can.
Well, I've got to say, I whoever came up with the idea, I think it's genius personally, because a lot of people have tried to do so. Not everyone wants to go all in, right, and buy the whole bottle. Like some of the bottles that we've got in the background here, you're talking like they're £100 a bottle. Some of them are £200 a bottle. Maybe you want to know, does it taste good before I commit to spending that much money? And a lot of people have tried it. Like, you have like
have shorties.
People that do like those little tiny samples, 3CL samples, like Master of Malt do them. I can't remember the name of what they call it, but I've never really taken to that. If you get you buy a bottle of whiskey and you get a little 3CL sample free with your whiskey, it's like a bit of a bonus, nice. But I can honestly say I've never bought any of those little samples and thought because the price of them, it just doesn't make it viable. Now,
but they've usually gone before you've got a chance to really explore it as well,
right?
Right?
To explore the whiskey, no,
because it takes half of the whiskey to get your palate adjusted to it, and then it's almost gone, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
You want at least a double.
Yeah. So you don't get to properly try and experience the whiskey. There's not enough there, and then there's a few people that have done I've seen in Blackrock in London. They had a vending machine with little pouches of whiskey in, and I think they do them you get them delivered for your door. But again, there's nothing what are you going to relate a pouch of whiskey to, like a Capri Sun? Do you know what I mean? It's it's not the same experience as drinking it out of a can. Now,
and what I don't like is when someone's decanted it into something else. Do you know what I mean? There's a middleman who's been fiddling with it. Fiddler on the roof. I want it in I like it in a can. It's
straight
sealed.
From the source.
It's sealed. It's I'm the first person who's gonna touch this whiskey.
You know exactly what you're getting. And so, yeah, as a concept, this is about £10.50 for the can. It's 100 ml. So if you're working on a 70 CL bottle, you're talking this is about £75. And this is a cash strength whiskey that's bottled at 58%. It's a single malt. I don't know. I do know, hang on a second. I wrote it down what distillery it's from. Great Northern. So it's a 5-year-old whiskey from the Great Northern Irish distillery. £75 to me would seem a reasonable price to pay for a cask strength whiskey, and that's one of my beefs with the little 3CL samples. Is they're so overpriced, you don't really get to experience the whiskey. So here, 100 ml, you can have 2 sessions on this, double down.
So this isn't from an actual distillery itself. So so what these guys do is buy a cask and then they put them into cans.
Two Stacks is a bonder and a blender.
They do have a whiskey, don't they?
Not a distillery, no. So they an independent bottler and a blending house. So another whiskey that they do is called Pillars of Creation. So they take some of the top Irish distilleries and they make it into a blend. Mm-hmm. We'll do that on another episode because Simon sent me a bottle of that as well, and it's absolutely incredible.
Good lad, this Simon, isn't he?
I know, yeah. It's benefits of a YouTube whiskey channel, right? Starting to get the free samples of Springbank. We got the 2 Stacks, so yeah, it's not a bad life. But yeah, so they're a bonder and a blending house. They're not a distillery, so they don't produce any of their own spirits. They're bottling other people's spirits or blending other people's spirits.
Great. Sorry, I zoned out for a moment there.
Too distracted. Back to the can.
It's too my brain is still dealing with the novelty of this dram in a can.
And I haven't
what is even going on?
I've been nosing the whiskey. I've had a little taste of it. It's pretty interesting. But I'm still not past the can.
Do you know what it reminds me?
Like you say, like, feel that. There's plenty left in there.
Mate, you get bang for your buck. That's one first thing is bang for your buck. The fact that it's just like such a lovely little package. So if you're traveling somewhere, perfect size, just to pop in your backpack. That'll even make it through airport security, won't it? In a little bag. Are you allowed up to 100 or are you allowed 100 in an airport security? It's like 99. You can go up to 100 or 99.
No, I think you can take 100.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you get it through security though.
We went to Benidorm recently and someone put like a big bottle of lube in Dolly's bag. It's a classic like and then he got pulled over and like just like classic lad holiday. Started just putting things. I was like, but surely they've got more questions that we've been like fiddling with people's luggage. But no, they loved it.
Brilliant. Yeah, you can't beat that kind of lads holiday bants, can you?
You never guess what we saw yesterday, and there was like a whole list of like, you know, we weren't the first to do it, won't be the last. But yeah, it's a great little thing just to pop in the bag and a little whiskey on the train. You go into a little house party, a few little 2 stacks.
Yeah, or even, do you know what I was thinking as well? A gift, because for like me personally, right? A lot of the time, in fact, I think it's you'll agree with this as well. Is I used to get like the kind of standard bottle of whiskey for like birthday or Christmas present, but now it's like, oh, he's got so much whiskey, he doesn't need any more. Like, so they'll get you like a book about whiskey. Oh. You start getting like the whiskey books. It's what do you get for the man that's got all the whiskey? A book about whiskey.
Oh, the whiskey books. Oh.
You love it.
Just. Yeah, don't get me started. Don't get me started on that.
But see these, right? Let's say, you know, it depends. A brother or, you know, a good pal like Dave, for example, who's 40th we went to for the Dublin vlog. His birthday's coming up again this month. You know, send like 3 or 4 of these down. Nice little package, bit of a novelty. You don't have to drink them all in one night. Like you get a bit of an experience.
And what you could do is you could send a really, really great whiskey to somebody as well if they canned a really great whiskey. So for example, if there was a whiskey like a Bruichladdich 18, you know, you don't want to send him a 180 quid bottle of whiskey, right? And even if you wanted to, the tough thing about buying someone a 180 quid bottle of whiskey is then they feel like they've got to reciprocate, and it creates this like dynamic, right? Whereas if you could send like a Bruichladdich 18 in a can and they could get 100 milliliters of Bruichladdich, you've probably spent £25, right? Which is a nice little price to spend on a gift for somebody, and it doesn't feel like overwhelming for the person receiving it, does it? Like they have to do it. They have to do something huge back. So it's kind of a really good little thing, like a little Secret Santa. It'd probably for a lot of Secret Santas like €10. Great little thing. You know, one thing. This is a bit of a digression, but I think this is an episode where we're just having a bit of a chill with the peeps out there. One of the things I think is a huge industry which no one really knows what to do with, which is whiskey books, socks, is gifts.
Yeah,
everybody wants to buy people gifts, and we always feel like we want to buy our dad a gift. And like my dad has received some of the worst presents. I'm gonna shout out my sister. So she always buy him a present, but she'll buy him like Monopoly Liverpool FC edition, and it's so shit compared to like normal Monopoly. But it's like, what do you get the guy that like can go and buy himself everything, like you said?
Yeah, it's tough.
And you know, socks, all of this sort of stuff that people buy because they don't really have any good ideas. It's really tough. And like, you know, gift cards kind of are a little bit soulless, aren't they? You buy someone a gift card, you can go onto Amazon and buy anything you want, but it's kind of like, it doesn't hit the same as a good, well thought out gift. And so whoever solves like, how do we, like Red Letter Days was one of those businesses, well, why don't you buy somebody an experience? Why don't you buy it? But then they have to like, they might want not going to go skydiving or something like that. Whereas, so it's about how do we solve this like getting good gifts for people?
Well, it's a really interesting point, and I think it goes beyond that, because the drinks, the alcohol industry is definitely suffering a generational issue at the moment. And there's a known decline in the volume of young people that are drinking alcohol. Like, they don't drink it like we used to. Like, it used to be like, go to the pub Friday night.
They don't glug it.
Get leathered. They're not out to get...
They're not gluggers, are they?
They're not out to go and get, like, drunkenness is not the goal. They're not like David Brent, like, lager, cider. Whee. But what they do want is they want quality, they want experiences. And I think that a lot of... bars and alcohol producers are moving towards that. How can we do that sort of premium experience? And this is a great example. Like, I'd wonder whether Two Stacks have actually got the patent on this, or like, is it anyone can do it? Like, could Brooklady do it with the 18-year-old? Can Ardbeg do like committee releases in cans? Like, mix things up a bit.
Do you know what another social rule is, which these would be good for? Which is, one of these like unspoken social rules is, you go to a party and say you buy a bottle of Glenfiddich 12 from Tesco on your way, right? So you take it to the party and you've paid maybe 35, 40 quid for it. At the party, everybody's welcome to dip in. Half the bottle gets drunk. Now, you feel like if you take the bottle home with you, right? But no one else might drink it at that house that you've been to. They may not even drink whiskey outside of the party, right? And so it sits there, it gets wasted. So you've wasted half a bottle because there's no way that party was going to take out 700 milliliters of whiskey. It's not a Brett House party. It's not a Balkan House party.
Like, yeah, that's a pretty...
You don't have that problem,
in my opinion.
at yours. So if you take a couple of like drams in the cans, then you can take like 3 drams in cans, and that's probably gonna suffice. And you don't feel like, oh, I've got this, like I've just lost half a bottle of whiskey now.
Yeah.
Which you back, oh, don't worry about it. But it does kind of hit you like, you're like, well, I would have liked to have taken it away, but you can't. It's not good etiquette, right?
Yeah.
You don't. No one goes to a party with a crate of beers and takes the what didn't get drunk back in the crate with them.
No.
It's just socially, there's not etiquette, right?
Maybe if you wake up there still the next day, like, you might take like, one for the road, little hair of the dog for the journey back.
little train beer.
Of course.
Train beers never taste as good on the way back, though, do they?
No,
not at the end. It's the anticipation that makes the train beer the second sweetest beer.
Definitely.
You can have. We've not actually touched the whiskey, really, have we?
I've been drinking it. I've had like some sips.
I'm going to put some water in it because it's incredibly strong. And
it is strong.
Do you know what it reminds me of if we're actually going to talk about the whiskey? It reminds me of Smoke Trails 2.
Well, that makes sense because it's peated and it's finished in a Cab Franc ice wine cask.
So that's Ardbeg Smoke Trails 2.
Wine cask finish, yeah. And it is fruity, isn't it? Definitely a fruity dram.
You definitely get that red wine influence, but it's not like the tannin red wine where it's like super dry. It's actually got a lot drier with the water. Actually, I just put in the water, I'm getting more of the tannin coming out. But it's what's icy red wine finish or ice wine cask?
So I should know the answer to this because I bought a bottle of Writer's Tears, which is an Irish blend that was finished in a Inniskillen ice wine cask. I want to say ice wine, I think is like, I can't remember if it was a different kind of grape. Do you know who would know the answer to this? In fact, this is who told me the answer to it, and I've forgotten it. It's Jay, Canadian Jay.
Oh yeah, he knows.
It's a Canadian. Stuff. Actually, the bottle's down there behind you.
Boy's got some class about it.
It's a Canadian
because he knew the Banyuls as well.
Yeah, he knows his wine. Yeah, and Dariush is, he's like a qualified sommelier.
Really?
Yeah, like Salesforce paid for him to do like a sommelier's course. You get like an education allowance, and like apparently you can be educated. I suppose it's a good thing to know if you work for Salesforce, like know your wines, because you're going to take clients out. Like you're going to look better to like the head of a software, the head of like a company that you're trying to sell to. If you're like get the best bottle of wine, like you're going to look good. So
well, it's one of those things when you're at a nice restaurant and someone probably doesn't know about wine, but they act like they do, you are always impressed.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I wish I knew a bit more about wine, but you know, I reserve my drinking for whiskey, you know, rather than wine. So I've never really got into wine heavy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the climate that the grapes are grown in. Like I'm talking out my arse probably, to be honest. Here, we need to get someone that knows what they're talking about to comment and tell us what is a nice wine, or we just need to speak to Jay and we'll just cover it on like a different episode.
But actually, this is actually really, really nice. We took a bit of water in there. I think what was the trepidation when I first started was the fact that it was 58%. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for 58% cask strength whiskey. But it's actually very smooth, very rounded. It doesn't feel so rough. And it says it's peated, but I'm not really getting too much of the peat. I'm not really getting, you know, it's got like a smoky layer mixed into the red wine cask, but I'm not getting so much of an obvious peat like you would with an Islay whiskey.
No, but I do get the peat smoke. I think it's undeniable that it's peated. Like
it's in the smell. It's in the nose, but
one of the first things that I got was the peat smoke. Like even drinking it straight from the can.
Yeah.
And it's 5-year-old as well. And this is like, I think sometimes like the Irish whiskies, like you tend to find a lot of them are bottled younger. But yeah, for 58% 5-year-old, like it drinks incredibly well. Like it does have that smoothness.
Well, there's a guy in Liverpool. There's a pub called the Lion Tavern, and the guy that's the Lion Tavern in Liverpool apparently has the biggest selection of Irish whiskey.
Okay.
In Liverpool, I don't know if that's true or not, but so the guy is like a very sort of like Irish whiskey is his thing. You know, he's chose to stock that as opposed to Scotch, and he is adamant, 100% adamant that there's no difference in any whiskey after 10 years in the cask. And so maybe with Irish whiskey, there's something in there, the process that means that there's some truth to that, and that's why they're younger.
Is that specific to Irish whiskey? That's just his opinion on Irish whiskey, or all whiskey?
Well, he was really talking all about Irish whiskey. You know,
Okay.
he wasn't really too much interested in anything but Irish whiskey.
That's his thing. Yeah, it's a good bar. But it's nice that, like, you know, a lot of the bars are getting better selections of whiskey.
It's a good proper pub. That's a great proper pub to go to if you want to
go.
go.
The Pogue's got some really nice Irish whiskies.
That's a good Irish.
Good
that's
Irish
one of the better Irish pubs
Yeah.
in Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you got Shenanigans is a great one, Pogue's, and then the rest are kind of the sort of like the, you know, the tackier sort of like let's just put a random barrel in there you can sit around.
Yeah,
I don't like them so much.
Yeah, I've drank 2 stacks in the Pogue before, so I know they've got like a pretty broad selection, like some stuff that you wouldn't get any other places. 2 stacks Smoke and Mirrors, but again, the
Did they have drams in a can?
They didn't have the cans
next to the. Remember, you used to go to like places when you were younger and they'd have like cans of Red Stripe, and it was always like the only cans you'd see in pubs.
It's like I never go into a pub and buy a bottle, and I definitely wouldn't buy a can in a pub because it's like you want a pint. You want it in a glass, and not a plastic glass either. Freaking glass, made of glass.
I'm trying to think if I've ever drunk a bottle in a pub. I've drunk I've drunk it in like on a night out in a bar, but I don't think I've ever drank a bottle in a pub.
Yeah, no, you got to go pints.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this whiskey is really hitting me hard. People are gonna say this is the drunkest episode we've ever done, but this is only our second whiskey, our second review of the day. But this is really seems to have hit hard.
Yeah, look at the legs on that.
Can number 190 out of 800. So that's interesting that they only got 800 cans out of the cask. So you'd get 300 bottles usually out of cask, right? So it must have been maybe a small cask.
Give or take. I mean, again, like it's cask.
Maybe the guys who were doing it were just like one for me, you know, one
cask
for
strength, yeah. Maybe a few less.
Maybe they used it for a blend. Maybe they used it for a blend and just thought, we'll throw 800 cans in. Interesting. So these are limited releases then. This is. I think this thing could actually take off.
I love it as a concept. I think it's great.
I think dram in a can is great, and the fact that we were surprised with they didn't have the tss,
yeah,
which means that there's integrity to it. you know, it's not like because my first thought was like, oh, it's gonna have some sort of form of like lemonade or something to water it down to make it a little bit more the experience you'd have of drinking a Coke or a you know, do Jack Daniels or the Malibu and Coke things that they do in the supermarkets. But no, this is it stands on its own as a new thing.
Yeah. I actually think the opening of the can was probably the most disappointing part, because maybe it's just like we're just stupid, because logically, why would a single malt whiskey produce any fizz? Because it's not going to be carbonated. But because like when you open a bottle of whiskey, you get that nice, if it's like a good, like the good pop, it's like that's you like the sound.
Well,
you know what I mean? It brings in like the element of sound, like the experience.
Well, to go behind the fourth wall here, what we did before the episode is Jay was like, should we just use one can and save one can, because 100 milliliters is going to be way too much.
Yeah,
for us both.
There's still loads left
for a review. Let's save a can. And I said no, because the USP is going to be the sound of opening the can on the episode. So the fact that it was like that, it was just an absolute dud. It was kind of like went counter to what I thought was going to be, you know, a sort of a feature of the episode. But I am not disappointed with Dram in a can.
No, I want to get more. Like, I'm sold. Dram in a can is absolute buy.
It's actually a nice whiskey. I don't want to rush it. So it's one of those where
it's a really nice whiskey.
I think we wrap up the review. In terms of, are we going to do a 2-minute review on this? Do we need a 2-minute
Drams and
review?
cans? Well, I don't think we've actually really done a review of the whiskey, have we?
No, not really. I've said it's a little bit like
it's more like we've done
we've
done a review of drams and cans, or just like expressed our excitement at what we think about drams and cans.
Absolutely waffled on for about 25 minutes. But no, yeah, actually,
I think we can break it out, right? What I'd say is close out the episode, and then we'll just do like a short, instead of a 2-minute review, we'll do like a 5-minute review at the end. Like, keep it short, snappy, and just tell them a little bit about the whiskey.
Like a separate review. Well, we should. This is like live now. We should.
Yeah,
we'll get back. Sorry, we forgot about you. So I think Dram in a can is an absolute buy. As a concept, they totally sold me. I didn't know. I came into it and I was like kind of like a little bit like, it's a Dram in a can. It's funny. I leave it and think actually it's one of the most practical solutions to get your whiskey. And if these took over, if there was a shop in Liverpool where I could go and grab a couple drams in cans from the local whiskey bar, I absolutely would. I think it's great. I think that could actually prevent you from it. Would it hit the bottle sales though? Sales of bottles, because it's so much more convenient. And sometimes, you know, the issue, we had the debate on this, and this is an episode which is actually going to come up on the for discussion soon. How long does a whiskey last in a bottle before the oxygen starts to denature it and starts to have a negative effect on it? And sometimes you have bottles where if you don't drink that fast, like I've got bottles that have been open for 2-3 years. You've got ones that have been open for maybe even longer.
Oh yeah, like I was drinking Springbank and Kilkerran that I bottled at the distillery in one of our whiskey tours, and on the label you had to date it and it said 2021. So I never literally, like, I've got like the heels left, like, but I mean, you'll see, I don't think it makes a massive difference, like, or I don't have a palate that is effective enough to distinguish. But yeah, but I still think, like, you know, look, if you've got the option to break something down into like smaller chunks, and it's not gonna, you're not being charged like a premium margin on it, and you're getting the opportunity to try more stuff. Like, variety is the spice of life, and like drams in a can is one way to achieve that.
I think it's fantastic. I think if you watch this video, you could break down, if you run this through ChatGPT, if you're 2stacks, and be like, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good angle. That's a good angle we could use for our marketing or our sales team. I think it's fantastic.
But it's innovation. Like you cut through the noise when you do something that's different, right? And this is completely different. Like, I've not seen it before. I've not had this experience before. I think a lot of people, like we said earlier on, have tried. Like, how do we allow people to experience whiskey without having to commit to the full bottle and get to try something? And I think 2stacks have nailed it with these.
It solves a lot of problems, which is really cool.
Happy days. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I think, we might have rambled a little bit, but I think there were some good points in there, and we're definitely impressed by what Two Stacks are doing. Definitely think drams in a can are the way forward. So if you have stayed this far, I appreciate you joining us. I hope you had a good time. I've had a good time. Michael, have you had a good time?
Yeah, put panda in the comments if you stayed this long.
I don't have any. I don't have any more to send.
We'll get Simon. Simon was May send you a panda.
Maybe
May send you a 2 stacks. But it's but yeah, I think it's I think it's been a great time, great concept. Thank you, Simon, for sending it, and we will see you on the next Bottle Kill TV.
Until next time.